Barcelona are quietly changing their tactical identity. They've managed 4 straight wins in all competitions, and while some would argue that it's just a good run of form, I think that something deeper is happening. Hansi Flick has been making some specific adjustments over the last few games, and against Frankfurt, those tweaks finally became obvious. So in this video, we are going to break down Barcelona's evolving tactics, the patterns behind this winning run, and a big change that unlocks the victory against Frankfurt. So how about we start with the different tactical approaches from both teams in the game. Barcelona started in the usual 4-2-3-1, opting for Eric Garcia ahead of Frankie de Jong to provide balance in midfield and offer defensive cover when the 2 fullbacks were pushed forward to join the attack. This would prove crucial, as we will come to see later in this video. Frankfurt, on the other hand, started with a clear tactical identity: sit back, defend, and hit Barcelona on the counter. And I'm getting tired of saying this, but it actually worked, because in the 21st minute, we conceded first for the 4th game in a row. But let's look at how this happened. Look when Lamine gets the ball out on the right. We spoke about teams doubling up on him to take him out of the game. Now it's a risk if he decides to take them on, because if he loses possession, look at the space between the midfield, the defense and the attack. It's not compact enough, so we are vulnerable to the counter. Lamine doesn't recognize this, so he backs himself and tries to take them on. Now he loses the ball and immediately Barcelona are vulnerable. But Garcia tries to close down the player on the ball but fails to win. This leaves us even more exposed, as the path to the goal is suddenly clear. Nathaniel Brown sees this and decides to make the run. Remember, we saw this against PSG with Nuno Mendes. Once the team loses compactness, we become vulnerable to the run through the lines. Brown continues the brilliant run forward. Now at this point, Knauf tries to free himself from the defender. Gerard Martin has 2 options here. He can't keep him offside because there's no press on the man on the ball, so he has to either stay on him and not allow him to make that run, or make sure he cuts out the pass into him. He doesn't do the one and he fails to do the other, so the pass finds its way through. Now Barcelona are in serious danger. Now Balde is our quickest defender, so he tries to go over to try to make the tackle, but Knauf is strong. He shrugs off Balde here, gains himself a yard. Before Balde is able to recover on the second attempt, the shot's already off. It was a brilliant strike. Joan Garcia was beaten. Frankfurt go ahead 1-0. But it wasn't what Frankfurt did on the ball that made this game tactically fascinating. It was how they defended off the ball. They go from a back 4 to a back 5, and it was the 5th man in defense that made the difference. That was Skiri, the man tasked with the responsibility of marking Barcelona's number 10 all game long. Now, when you play in a low block, you're not just searching for creativity, you're looking to penetrate as well. This is something Barcelona would usually get from Fermin Lopez or Dani Olmo. So by placing Skiri on man-marking duties against Fermin, Frankfurt effectively snuffed out any danger that could come from exploiting the spaces between the backline. And he worked so well, so much that Fermin eventually had to go over to the right to allow Rafinha play through the middle. But Skiri wouldn't surrender, as he continued to man-mark Rafinha as well. Barcelona needed a way out, so Hansi Flick decided to deploy a last resort. If Frankfurt weren't going to let us in through the middle, Barcelona would go through the flanks. Guys, look at Koundé's position in the build-up to this attack. Now look at Balde on the other flank. With Eric Garcia ready to tuck into the space behind, Barcelona's fullbacks were given the freedom to provide more width in the attack. But it wasn't just about the width, it was the way they switched positions with the forwards. Yamal would drift inside when Koundé went on the outside and vice versa. This was the same on the other flank with Rafinha and Balde. But even though Barcelona started to create chances and pin Frankfurt back, we needed one last piece in the puzzle. So when we came back in the second half, Hansi Flick had replaced Fermin Lopez with Marcus Rashford. Guys, with the introduction of Rashford, Barcelona could attack more directly from the flanks, bypassing the number 10 position completely and neutralizing Frankfurt's man-marking tactic in the middle. This proved simple but genius, and within 5 minutes of the restart, Barcelona got the equalizer. It was a cross from one wingman to the other, but look when Rashford gets the ball on the left. Look at the relative positions between Koundé and Lamine. Lamine is staying outside to allow Koundé go on the inside. So as soon as Koundé starts making the run, Rashford releases the pass. Lewandowski takes out the centre-backs. Nathaniel Brown is slow to react. Koundé gets in front of him. Diving header. Keeper's got no chance at all. 1-1. And guys, this tactic was going to bear more fruits because within 3 minutes of the first, Barcelona get a second. It was a similar tactic with the fullback Koundé offering attacking threat in the box. This time the provider was Lamine Yamal. It comes off a corner kick. First time ball from Lamine. He hangs it in the air, but the finish on the second is even more difficult than the first because Koundé has to first readjust his body, generate enough power and precision to guide it past the goalkeeper and into the net. The goalkeeper is completely static. He can't move. Really brilliant header from Koundé. Barcelona go 2-1 up. Now, from this point on, Frankfurt were rattled, and to be honest, they never recovered. Barcelona had their hands firmly on the wheel, and they were going to steer this game to victory. Remember, after the game at the weekend, we highlighted our tendency to switch off towards the ends of games. Well, tonight we did no such thing as a few important substitutions from Hansi Flick ensured that we kept things under control until the final whistle. So overall, what does this mean? Well, I think it was a good performance from the team, steered by some smart tactical recovery from Hansi Flick. And while we still need to do something about the tendency to go behind early, I think that the team showed some character to pick up all 3 points from this game, taking an important step towards our aspirations in the Champions League. But like I always say, it's not just about what I think. I want to hear from you as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as I've got loads of videos coming your way in December. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week. See you soon, and Visca El Barça.